looks like divorce rates have dropped in Kentucky, and we're going to talk about it. Yo, what's going on, everybody? This is your boy, Anderson Da Silva. Thank you for tuning in for another episode of the Tina and Anderson Show. And I'm here with my lovely wife, Tina Da Silva. We are a married couple, and we talk about family, parenting, and we talk about traditional marriage. And we speak against the red pill and feminism, because we do believe that traditional marriage is the best way to live your marriage, because that's how God created it. So today we are going to talk about, this has been going around. I've been seeing this on TikTok, and I thought this was like something new that just passed, but it's a law in Kentucky that passed back in 2018. And I think the reason why people are talking about it is because divorce rates have dropped in the past 7 years.
You're starting to see the effect of what went into effect in 2018.
Right.
Now you're really seeing the effect 2025.
Right, because in 2018, Kentucky passed the 50-50 custody law. So if you're getting divorced, you're right. All right. So sorry for that little intrusion.
Cut.
So because in Kentucky, they passed this law, the 50-50 custody. So when you are divorced, both parents, the mother and the father, have 50-50 custody of the child. Now, I've read a little bit about this. Now, there are some nuances. There are some things like if the husband travels for work a lot, there are ways to get around it. It's not like the mother has the child Sunday through Wednesday, and then the father has a child Thursday through Saturday, and then it fluctuates this and that. So if he travels for work, maybe when he comes back, he'll have the child more days than before. There's all these ways to work out. And I guess there's other ways where they can get together every quarter, the mother and the father, every quarter, and discuss their schedules. So there's a lot of different ways to do it. Now, I think because of this, because there's been just less divorce, because it's probably because it's harder. It's harder to have a 50-50 custody. Mm-hmm. There's so many things that goes with it. But what do you think? Why do you think divorce rates, why do you think the 50-50 custody have made divorce rates drop in the past 7 years?
Wouldn't it be the incentives aren't there anymore?
True, yeah.
I don't know what the laws were before, or how ridiculous they were, or how in favor they were from one side to another, but usually, and I don't think anybody can argue this, courts are in favor of the woman.
Yeah.
So, I mean, even if the woman has the kid or the kids majority of the time, you're going to see that the father still has to pay child support to the mother, even though, like, he doesn't even get the child as much as the mother does, but he has to pay into it. But it's not like when he has the kid, she has to pay him. Like,
usually, yeah.
Like there's almost like incentive for a woman to divorce her husband. She's going to get paid.
Right.
But if you're doing 50-50, no child support, because when he has the kid or the kids, he pays for their living. And when she has the kids, she pays for their living. I mean, it makes complete sense to me.
Right.
I mean, and then like somebody would say something like, well, what about like child care and blah, blah, blah. That's like consistent no matter where. Then it's like, okay, he pays for the child care when the child, like, for me, I feel like almost a week week on, week off would make more sense.
Yeah.
Because clearly you would live close to each other.
Right.
So it's like for a whole week, she gets the kid.
Right.
For a whole week, he gets the kids. So it's like when the week that he has the kids, he pays for the child care.
Right.
He pays for the after school care. So it seems like it would fan out.
Right.
So it's like, unfortunately, women are almost incentivized to divorce because they're most likely not going to be the ones getting screwed in the whole situation. The courts always more than likely the courts favor the woman. And you usually have to have proof of some pretty darn bad stuff.
Right.
For the woman to not get custody.
Yeah.
And then the custody goes from that point for the father.
Right, yeah.
Okay, the mother gets full custody and the father gets every other weekend.
Yeah.
But he has to pay her for having his kids, yet he can't even see them as much.
Yeah.
It's just,
Yeah, it's been horrible for fathers, and there's an organization I think it's called Fathers' Rights or Fight for
totally
Fathers.
fine, but you should pay to raise
did
your
I
kids.
press something?
Is it not his child as well?
And he should pay for the time. That's why I said
Sorry, guys,
50-50
let's,
custody off.
I have a Stream Deck right here
I think I hit it.
that controls everything. Yeah, probably hit
And
it.
it's like delayed today for some crazy reason. So I just hit it like 10 seconds ago.
Well, you got a little preview of a video we're going to watch a little bit later where Pearly Things talks about with another person about 50-50 custody, and they have opposing views. But anyways, so so there's this organization fighting for fathers' rights, and they've been fighting for this across the country because fathers really have been screwed. I mean, there was a story about this man who was screwed for millions of dollars for everything, and his wife lied to their children about him. So he had to literally, and he went to prison because he was,
He couldn't pay it.
he already paid millions of dollars, and then he was $300,000 short. $300,000 short after paying millions of dollars.
She took him to court,
and,
probably.
And he had to go to prison for
He
that.
ended up in prison. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
See,
So
this
when he
is
got out, he had a
nightmare.
When he got out, he was a very smart man. So he was able to already start another business and make a lot of money. And he just had a fight to get to his kids because his kids were hating him. But that's just one of millions of examples out there. Other deadbeat dads, yes, but there are
His deadbeat moms too.
But there are good men being punished because these laws are pretty much for deadbeat dads. But these laws are affecting good fathers as well. So I got a little thing here, a little article about what's going on in Kentucky. And there are fathers that are basically, they feel like they're every other weekend. They're like Disneyland dads. That's what they're calling themselves, right? And one of them said he has become an uncle instead of a father because he just doesn't have the 50-50 custody. He doesn't see him a lot. So in 2018, Kentucky become the first state to pass a law making equal shared custody the default arrangement in divorce. Now, there are other states that are following along on this: Arkansas, West Virginia, Florida, and Missouri, and passed their own version of Kentucky custody bill. Now, around 20 more states are considering this as well. And I know there's probably a lot of single fathers out there that are hoping here in Massachusetts, where we're from, they're hoping it's probably happening here, but it is a blue state. So we don't know. Blue states usually hate men. So
That's a bold statement.
So Kentucky's divorce rate has plummeted, right? So between 2016 and 2023, so 2 years ago, up to 2 years ago, it fell 25%. Compare with the nationwide decline of 18%. I think this is great news that that divorces are declining. Feminists, and they're gonna say this is bad. They're gonna say women are being stuck in these marriages. what I say is
How
people
is it stuck if it's 50-50? It's even.
what I'm trying to say is because there's less divorce is because these women are being stuck in their marriage instead of
which
divorcing.
wouldn't be true because they could divorce and just be 50-50.
Right, but the point I'm trying to get at is that what I see is that these women are working on their marriages. They're like, you know what? Might as well work on this because if I divorce, my life is going to be harder. Right. And this is what, so when you create a life with someone and you create a family, the life should be harder when you're apart because you created this life together. You shouldn't just be able to just break up this family because the kids are the most affected by it. So when you work on your marriage, it's strengthening the marriage. When you strengthen the marriage, you strengthen this country. This country is getting weaker and weaker because the family units are getting weaker and weaker. Now, if we strengthen that, these laws will help. If we strengthen it, it's definitely going to strengthen our country. Now, so I think most women who fell into this feminist ideology feel like I could just get a divorce whenever I want. I don't feel like this is working out. I'm just going to get out. It's easy for me anyways, because it has been easy for them.
They also think, okay, so like say if there's a stay-at-home mom, I've seen this talked about online too. A stay-at-home mom, married, has kids, she wants a divorce, but because she was a stay-at-home mom when she was married, she wants to stay a stay-at-home mom and him have to pay for her living as if they are still married. Like she wants the, what's the saying? The cow with the cake and eat it too. I'm like the cow. She wants the cake, but she wants to eat it too.
Right.
So it's like she wants the divorce, but she doesn't want it to like feel like a divorce really. Yeah. But she still wants all the benefits of being married to this man who paid for her entire existence.
Right.
Because they, I've literally seen this video and I could not believe it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like they don't want the man, but they still want his money.
They want the lifestyle that they had with when they were married, and it's like, no, you want a divorce. Everything is null and void now. Right.
But there are women out there, like the one we're just going to listen to right now. There are women out there who believe that even though there is 50-50 custody, that the man still should pay. So here's Pearly Davis from Pearly Things talking to a woman.
Trying to explain.
She just doesn't understand that this logic it doesn't work.
It doesn't make any sense.
So check it out. And you'll see what we're talking about.
If you want to leave, that's totally fine, but you should pay to raise your kid.
Is it not his child as well?
And he should pay for the time. That's why I said 50-50 custody off the bat, no child support, no alimony.
So she gets to take on all of the child care responsibilities, but he doesn't have to like pay anything. He doesn't have to have any buy-in.
I didn't say all. I said 50-50 custody. He should have the kid half the time.
But doesn't have to pay any money towards it.
No, he should pay for the kid when the kid's at his house.
Okay, and so the majority of the time when the kid is at the mother's house, he doesn't have to be involved in any way financially?
No, she should pay for it. She has a job. Why should he have to pay for a kid?
He should support it.
If she chose to have the kid and she chooses divorce, why should she not have to pay for her own decision? That's the thing. See, there it is. You want all the freedom to do whatever you want, but you don't want to have to pay for it.
So here's one thing that Pearly didn't catch. They're talking about 50-50 at his house half the time and at her house half the time. But she says, but when she has her the majority of the time. So she still sees it as the mother having the child the majority of the time, even though it's 50-50.
She's not, because like I think, I don't think people like it. It's so normal. It's the norm that the mother gets the kids, and then like what does 50-50 from there mean?
Right.
Like she's not getting it.
Yeah,
like
she wasn't getting it at
50
all.
means, you know, stays with mom during the week and then on the weekends goes with dad. Like, is that her 50-50? Because
Yeah.
that's not 50-50.
So the father has to get a home and make it equipped for the children when they're there half the time. Have their bedroom, make sure he has food for them. He's paying extra utilities when they're there and
Extra,
extra
yeah,
groceries when they're
everything.
there. Probably brings them to school. And, you know, they probably split whatever, like if they play sports, they probably split that. So, and then, and then when he's with them, probably takes them out to dinner or something, or take them out to a movie. He pays for all of that when the child is with him. Now, what her logic is, well, when the child is with her, he has to pay for everything there too, not the mom.
But
Which-
how come the mom doesn't have to pay for everything when the kid's with him?
Yeah, because
Like-
because she has been trained.
Yeah,
She has been trained.
gets it
Yeah,
all.
it-
that the woman should basically
Exactly.
get paid for being the child's mother.
Yeah,
And it's like, no, you're not getting it. You're not understanding. I'm going to have my house, and I have to pay for everything within their living
right.
when they're at my house, and then when they're at your house, you pay for their living.
Yeah.
And then like everything is split down the middle. You know, sports, gymnastics, stuff like that. And if
Right.
they have to do like after school care,
Yeah.
or who knows, maybe they're young and there's daycare involved.
Right.
Literally 50-50. And this lady is she's not comprehending.
Yeah.
Because what we are used to is the kid is with mom and then the dad pays the mom
Right.
and then gets to see the kid once a month.
Yeah, and you know, and
This is what she's used to.
and a lot of these women, they'll complain like, I have to pay rent, I have to pay grocery, I have to pay this.
he will too.
And it's like, so does the father. Mm-hmm. Like he works, he pays rent, he does everything that she's doing as a single father. He has to. He's an adult. He has to have bills.
Yeah.
He has to have a place to live for these kids. But she's not understanding that because she's the woman.
That she's not somehow getting money out of
Yeah.
the deal, like
Yeah.
extra. Like she's basically saying that he has to pay for when the kids are with him, but he also should have to pay a portion for when the kids are with her.
Right. Even though the child is with him half of the time.
That's not 50-50.
Yeah.
And she's like, she's not,
She was not getting it.
somehow, some way, she wants the mother to get paid, like to make extra money out of the deal.
It's like she's thinking is 50-50 is just the term.
Yeah.
But even though they call it 50-50, the mother still has the child more. Because she was like, well, what about when the child's at her house? She
Yeah,
pays
50-50.
just like when the
And then
child's at
she's-
his house, he pays.
And then like what you said, that she kept saying, yeah, but when the child is with the mother the majority of
Yeah,
the time.
she wasn't getting it.
No, you're not getting. And I wish that Pearl picked up on
Yeah.
that word, majority.
Yeah.
Because she didn't. She'd be like, what are you talking about, majority of the time? Do you know what 50-50 means?
Yeah.
Half, right down the middle.
Yeah.
So it's literally making it fair for both parties. And this woman is basically saying it's not fair because he should have to be paying for when the kid is with him, but also when the kid is with her.
Right.
That's fair to this lady.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just,
So there's another video that we're gonna catch. So this is a woman. It's one of those divorce on shows. So you know it might not be real, but I've heard a lot of them is based on real cases. So this might not be a real, just based on something real. Where she's bringing him to court. She wants money, but they have the kid 50% of the time. So and the judges catches her on this.
I don't think it's necessary. We split her 50-50. She's at my house just as much. She's with me just as much, if not more.
Your Honor, I would say that's probably an argument for her to pay me. If we're splitting 50-50, I shouldn't have to pay all of it.
That's exactly what I was getting ready to say. So you kind of like told on yourself. So you ready to move forward with the numbers?
Sure.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and get ready with.
And it kind of cuts over there. They start with the numbers, then they just cut in the middle of it. But yeah, she told on herself. She said, we have the kid 50% of the time, but she brought him to court for more money.
Yeah.
So the judge was like, oh, you only have 50% of the time? Okay. And I didn't watch the whole video, but I've seen this judge before. She probably either makes her not pay or reimburses him if the insurance is under him.
Makes
Usually,
her not pay?
make him not pay.
Make him. You said her.
Okay, make him
All right,
not pay
follow.
child support,
Yeah.
or make her pay him to reimburse for health insurance, because usually the father usually carries the health insurance for the children. I'm sure there are moms there that carry the health insurance too, but a lot of these cases that I see is it's the father. But yeah, here's a woman. Here we go. She just because they have 50% of the time, she deserves the money.
Right.
She deserves the money. He deserves nothing. He has to pay for the child being with him and when the child is with her.
Right. That's what I'm like. They're not. It's insane to me how telling it is that women would have a problem with this.
Right.
Like, you want to split everything right down the middle? What? Like, it's like they're telling on themselves that they're only here because they were looking to somehow get more money. Like, I need to get paid. Maybe she only wants to work part-time or something like that.
Yeah.
And now he has to work his butt off because he's got to pay for the kid when the kid's with him and pay for the kid when the kid's with her. And then for the courts to say, no, this is baseline. This is where we start. We start 50-50.
Yeah.
And then you go from there.
Yeah.
And then you figure out the schedule. Like, like maybe it's, 1 week with mom, the next week with dad, and you do that like all year round. Or maybe it's it could be even something like they don't really live close together. So it's 1 month with mom, 1 month with dad.
Right.
But it's 50-50.
Yeah.
Like, and the fact that people would have a problem with that is just crazy. And it's just like, are you thinking of the kids?
Yeah.
Because the kids need their father.
Yeah.
The kids need their mother.
Right.
They are, equally important in a child's life. And to just be thinking about the money
Yeah.
is like, no, you're forgetting about
What a lot of them do.
You're forgetting about the kids. You're forgetting.
Yeah.
And it's sad, and you can't deny that, like, we are like automatic that, like, if you hear that so-and-so are getting divorced, you automatically know that the mom's going to get the kids. And then they stem off from there. Like, okay, so what do we do? Like, every other Christmas, 1 day on the weekend. Like, what's the schedule from there? But mom gets the kids.
Right.
I mean, I don't know if that's just Massachusetts, if it's like that basically everywhere. But, yeah, like the baseline is mom gets the kids unless, something really outrageous is going on with mom, then, but it has to, we all know it has to be pretty darn bad for mom to not get the kids.
The only time one of the few times I've seen, I don't know if I talked about it here. I probably did. But there was a coworker I worked with several years ago, where he had a kid with his girlfriend. His girlfriend lived with him. She didn't work. And she was kind of abusive. He talked about how abusive she was. And one day he's just sitting on the couch and, they got into an argument, and then he was sitting on the couch, and then all of a sudden something smashes over his head. It was a jar. I think it was a jar, he said. It was a glass jar. She just smashed a glass jar right over his head, and he was bleeding. He called the cops, and they came, and they saw, and they were gonna arrest her. But then I don't know the whole story, but I think they did arrest her, and then they were gonna release, and then they released her the next day, and they called him and asked if she could stay there because she has nowhere else to go.
Oh my
Now,
God.
can you imagine if this was the other way
the
around?
Other way around. Yeah.
So he obviously went to court for custody, and she just never showed up.
Shocking.
And that's how he got custody. And I guess a good thing because she was just nuts and abusive. I'm friends with him on Facebook. He has a girlfriend, seems really happy, and he does a lot of stuff with his kid. So it's really great. So, but that's one of the few that I've seen, you know, that he gets custody. But even so, they're more lenient. Sorry, they're more lenient, right? So, yeah, I mean, and fathers are getting sick of it. Fathers are getting sick of finding a woman, and she's the love of his life, and he thinks everything is going great, and then boom, she hits him with a divorce. She gets custody. He has to pay all this money. Still has no idea what he did. She just fell out of love with him for some reason. And this is how the red pill was created. And this is now why men are not going for marriage anymore. You see men with longtime girlfriends because they don't want to get married because they are afraid of that happening. They are afraid. They are so afraid of it.
It's all the horror stories.
Right.
Even if it hasn't exactly happened to you before,
Right.
you have friends that have told you the horror stories and
Right.
all the money it costs to get divorced.
Oh, yeah.
They drained of all their money
Oh,
and
and
all
I'm in
their
the-
assets. And
Right. And I'm in the trades. There's a
Yeah.
lot of divorced men in the trades because
you
men
work
in the trades
crazy
work
hours.
a lot of hours.
Yeah.
And then women don't like that, even though we're bringing a lot of money home. Women don't like that, and then they feel lonely, and then they go for a divorce. Right? So there's a lot. So, and you got all these older men in the trades telling the younger guys this,
Don't
and then
get
they're
married, yeah.
listening to these red pill podcasts. Pearly Things is a red pill podcast. It makes no sense. She's a woman. She's not married. Makes no sense. But anyways,
She talks about marriage too,
Right,
But she's never been married.
Never married.
She'll do like entire episodes on marriage,
Right.
And she doesn't. She's never been.
Right.
Marriage is one of those things that I'm sorry you cannot speak on unless you have been married and been successful.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yeah, but there are some clips that I like about her, like that, you know,
Yeah.
where she's
Well,
schooling
because
somebody.
It's literally logic.
Logic, yeah.
It's her literally explaining logic to people who don't understand logic.
Right.
So it's entertaining to watch. You're like, how are you not getting this? 50-50. Like how are you missing this? This isn't clicking. So
No.
it's entertaining, but then there's certain subjects where she goes too far and you're like, yeah, you lost me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're kind of a fan of hers.
Sort of, kind of, a little bit.
But
I hate when she talks about marriage, though.
Yeah.
I hate it. I hate
Well,
it.
there are some people on Reddit from other countries who talk about 50-50. This person here says, in Sweden, we don't pay child support if it's 50-50 custody. Only if the custody is split unequally, then one of the parents will have to pay. Then this other person says, in the UK, my ex has an income 3 times of mine, and we have 50-50 custody, and not a penny, and I don't get a penny in child support.
50-50.
Yeah.
You pay for the kid when you have the kid.
Right. So
And I'm assuming, yes, she does get child support because they're probably paying, down the middle of like childcare, sports,
Yeah.
Clothes, or like whatever. I don't, he probably has his clothes at his house and
Right.
that he's paid for and that she's paid for. But like, they're like, oh, we don't get a penny in child support. He basically gets child support from you, and you get child support from him when you're both paying in so he can play football.
right. Yeah.
Like, or you're both paying right down the middle for daycare.
Right.
You're paying and he's paying.
If the child
support.
if
There
the
it
child is comfortable, if the child has a comfortable room to sleep in each home, if the child has food to eat in each home, if the child has clothes in each home, if the child gets to school, if the child gets their homework done, if the child gets everything they need from each parent when they're at each parent's home,
I mean,
what's the problem? Because a lot
think of how awesome that is for the kid.
Right.
Like stability with two parents that are divorced, because when you get divorced, you create instability. You know,
Right.
like it's just a fact. Like, I'm sorry, I don't, want to offend anybody, but that feels unstable for a child. Like what their life completely changes. But can you imagine if you've got two stable homes, because it's 50-50, and you've got two parents that are working together to make sure that the child is in the forefront.
Yeah. And if you bring up your child right, the child is not going to care if their room is bigger in one home and smaller than the other. Mm-hmm. Most children are not. If you bring them out right, bring them up right, they're not going to care. They're just going to be appreciative, and they're just going to be happy to be with their mother and their father. Most kids are like that. Mm-hmm. You can't buy their love. Mm-hmm. It's just going to make them bratty and make them not appreciate anything. They just want more and more and more. Mm-hmm. But if you care for
the kid starts pinning one against the other.
Right.
Like, well, at dad's house I get to, well, at mom's house I have a.
Right. And you have to be on the same team, even though you don't love each other anymore. Mm-hmm. You have to be on the same team when it comes to your child.
I mean,
so which can be hard when feelings are involved,
Yeah. I mean, we would advocate for not getting divorced is the best thing for your child, and also understanding that there are circumstances and situations where, I mean, divorce is basically the answer. I mean, when it comes to abuse and just a bad living situation for everyone, you don't want to but what we advocate for is, if it's a unstable home or a bad situation for children to be living in, then fix it.
Right.
Don't give up and throw it away. But in order to do that, both people have to see the problem and be willing to fix it.
Right.
You can't have the husband who thinks that, like, he's not doing anything wrong and everything's fine, and the wife really wants to fix things, but he could care less. Then what are you supposed to do?
Yeah.
What are you supposed to do? It has to be both people. But I mean, that's what we advocate for, is don't get divorced, fix it. But also understanding that sometimes there are things that unfortunately can't be fixed.
I mean, I know somebody close to me where he wanted to fix it.
Yeah.
He wanted to fix the marriage, and she wanted out. She said, I never wanted to be married in the first place.
Right.
She wanted out.
Right.
And what can he do?
That's the thing.
Can't force somebody to stay in a marriage.
No, but especially like when you have kids, though, the best thing for children is for you to not get divorced.
Yeah.
Unless those situations where something is not good, something is it's bad for everyone.
Yeah.
But I mean, what we say is put the time in to fix it. But if you don't have both people on board to fix it, you can't force the other person. But this is what we say. If something's broken in your marriage, then you need to put the time and the effort in to fix it, so you don't put your family through a divorce. It's not just you and him. It's your entire family is going to go through the divorce, and it's going to affect everybody differently. So...
Yeah, because the past several years, 70-80% of divorces have been initiated by the woman. And because women know they have an easy out. They know they all have to do is say, I want a divorce, I get custody, and I get child support.
So many women say.
Now when women, now people are like, what are we going to go back to the, back when women didn't get anything? No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that it went from one extreme to the other. Women don't get anything. So now let's go to the other extreme where women get everything. Mm-hmm. It shouldn't be like that. Now, I'm glad that what I think it is making women evaluate marriage a little bit more, saying, look, if I leave, my life is going to be very hard, and it's going to be very hard for my child. So
maybe we should fix it.
Right.
Yeah.
Because a lot of these women online who talk about their divorce, they're not being abused. Not physically abused. They might just have issues in their marriage. And a lot of times they don't even tell their husbands that there's a problem. So you got to talk it out. There's no communication. So now I wanted to talk about this real quick. Now, Florida, they have, I think last year they signed a bill where there's no fault divorce. Now, women were in an uproar about this because now they went to the extreme. No fault divorce. That means I'm gonna stay stuck in an abusive marriage. Okay, if you're in an abusive marriage, that's a fault divorce, which is allowed, right?
That's the fault,
right?
is
A
the
no
abuse.
fault. A no fault is you just can't say I just want a divorce because I just want one. You can't do that. Now the lady kind of breaks it down here a little bit, and she kind of this talks about what this no fault divorce is.
What's the difference between a fault and no fault state? In a no fault divorce state, spouses considering divorce do not have to prove the other spouse did anything wrong, and the other spouse can't object, which means they can't stop the divorce from happening. While almost all states have some version of no fault grounds, only a minority of states, including Colorado, are true no fault states. But the majority of states have an option for proving fault grounds based on some type of matrimonial offense. The primary reason someone might want to move forward on fault grounds is because in states where this is allowed, fault can have a huge impact on the distribution of the marital estate and post-divorce support.
Right. So what you were saying, the fault can have an impact on the distributions, meaning, so in Florida, if she cheats and she wants a divorce, she ain't getting nothing from him. She ain't getting nothing. Where in no fault divorce, you could just say, I want a divorce. She cheated. She's like, I just want a divorce. And then she will get spousal support or child support from the husband. And he's the one. So
He's
not
the one who
only,
got cheated on.
so not only did he get his heart ripped out from his chest from the woman who he loved and thought was going to be with him for the rest of his life. Not only that happened, now she's taking his kids. Now she's taking half the house. Now she's taking a portion of his income. It literally tears a man apart. And how every man does it put a gun in his gun to his mouth? Like, man, those are real men right there. The strong men. Like, I'm glad because it really can tear a man down. So I'm glad this is happening. Now it's crazy. These women, they just go off of the deep end and say, now we're going to have to be in abusive relationships. It's like, do you understand?
Not what that means.
Do you really understand what's going on here? Do you understand what a
They're
no fault divorce?
To make it fair and for the woman to complain about fairness is just very telling.
Yeah.
It's very telling.
They just don't care about the men. The men. This is not a 180. This is, we're gonna make if there is gonna be a divorce, it's gonna have to be fair. You just can't divorce a man and take everything from him, because see, women. This is happening, and like I said, women wonder why men don't want to get married. And marriage is a wonderful.
Mind.
Look, marriage is a wonderful thing. I will never tell a man, I'm not a red pill guy, right? I'm never going to tell a man don't get divorced because she could leave you.
Don't get divorced?
I mean, don't get married. Sorry. I'm not going to say don't get married because she could leave you. I'm not going to say that.
Yeah.
Right? And marriage is a wonderful thing. Marriage was created. It's created by God. God created marriage. Right. So I'm not going to tell somebody not to get married. Right. But these laws are making men not want to get married. Now, are there any Christian men that don't want to get married because of this law? I don't know. I haven't met any. But there probably are. And it's sad because if you're a Christian man, you should marry a Christian woman who believes in the value of marriage as much as you do. You're equally yoked. The Bible says to be equally yoked. So, but I'm glad that some of these laws are changing to make marriage a little bit more enticing for men. Now that they can breathe a little bit more, knowing that at the end of the day, that their woman will most likely want to work on the marriage because they know if they leave, they probably won't get anything. Now people are like, well, that's a terrible way to, like, you don't want women to stay because they will get nothing. You want them to stay because they love you. Yeah, I know. But what are you going to do? It's better than nothing. I'd rather her work the marriage with me, knowing that if she leaves, life for her will be difficult, than have a no fault divorce state and her be like, you know what? I don't love him anymore. I don't even want to work on it. I'm just going to leave, take the kids, take the house, and take most of his money.
Real enticing for
if there is a law that will make her rethink that and might work on the marriage more, yeah. But we're Christians, and we believe in the sanctuary of marriage, and we believe that divorce is the very last resort, if not no resort at all.
Mm-hmm. I think what people need to do more of is check their checklist.
Yeah.
When you're dating, when you're trying to find your husband or your wife, of course there's certain physical things that you might be more attracted to than others or whatever, but there needs to be things in your checklist that are going to end up with a good person to marry. The insanity that I see is like, pick the right person. and if you're working on being an awesome person yourself, and Joe Schmo over here is working on himself being an awesome person, and two awesome people get together and they know that the other one is awesome and that's why I'm picking them, could probably end up in a really good marriage, right? Instead of, just like, oh, well, I want him to be 6 feet tall with a 6-pack and make 6 figures, blah, blah, blah. Like
it's all material things.
Like, date to marry. You need to be intentional on, and be dating this person with purpose. Yeah. Like, you need to be intentional. Don't just be dating just because they're hot. Like, yeah, sure, that might be the first thing that attracted you to them, but is this, person, gonna be a good leader, provider? Or, like, is the woman, gonna be, nurturing and what does the Bible say? The wife is
she's the nurturer. No,
I already said that.
Wise counsel.
The wise counsel. Yeah. Like, are you going to be, by your husband's side and, support him and, help hold him up and, everything like that. Like, so it starts way back,
right?
When you're dating and looking for this person, like,
it does.
Is this person going to be worthy of your submission as a wife?
It does. And marriages work, and I'm glad these laws are happening. It's a win for the men. It's not just for the men. It's a win for families. When you see a 25% drop in one state of divorces, these are families. These are families that are not being broken apart, and that's a win. That's a win for the kids.
Yeah.
And it's great. So we're going to end it there. I know this was a little short today. It's been a long week last week for me. So I kind of put this together, and I wish I did a little bit more research, but I wanted to get an episode out. But we'll get another episode out next week, and hopefully it'll be like an hour usually. But I appreciate you guys. Look, our subscribers more than doubled in the past week and a half, which is awesome.
It's crazy.
Awesome. We're so grateful. We're so grateful. And our last episode got more views than usual, which is great. We're getting people responding on our YouTube shorts and TikToks, and the channel is growing. It's still growing a little slow, but it's still growing. More than double I mean, hey, that's awesome. If we can keep doing that, that's going to be great. It just makes us more hopeful. It just makes us more excited, and it just makes us more motivated to work on this channel and just continue to make it better and better and better. So thank you guys. I appreciate all the people who have subscribed to our channel in the past week and a half. I appreciate you all. And obviously all the ones that have been subscribed to us since day one. I appreciate you guys too, and continue to coming back, watching our videos, and listening to what we have to say. We appreciate it, guys. Believe me, it means a lot. It means a lot. And I'm feeling so grateful now. I can't imagine how grateful I'm going to be when we have thousands.
Yeah.
So I'm just grateful.
10,000 today.
We're still a blip. We're still a little blip in the YouTube universe, but we are growing, and we appreciate it, guys. So follow us on Instagram and follow us on TikTok. Make sure to hit that notification bell so you know when next episode is coming. And if you haven't subscribed, subscribe and hit the like button too. We would appreciate it. So we'll see you guys on the next one.
Peace.
Peace.